Canucks fans are ecstatic to hear this as NHL insider Elliotte Friedman reveals the Vancouver Canucks shortlist of coaches going into the remainder of the season, the implications this has on star players returning to the Canucks, and we also get a major update on an Abbotsford Canucks player that is over exceeding what fans were expecting. We're going to break down all this and more heading into this episode. Before we get into, if you're enjoying this daily Canucks content and you want to stay updated on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks, go down and hit that free subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, where we're going to take a look at the Abbotsford Canucks. And this does tie straight into the second topic, but we do see that Arturs Silovs has been dominating. He has recorded back-to-back shutouts to keep the Abby Canucks going in the Calder Cup playoffs. He went in 5-0 win versus the Roadrunners and a 2-0 win versus the Firebirds. Arturs Silovs is a name that everyone does love. Playoffs is a specialty, as we've seen him in last year's playoffs, taking the Vancouver Canucks into the second round, Game 7 versus the Edmonton Oilers. Silovs has been dominating with Abbotsford this season and is showing his development and progression at age 24. And a 6th round pick is looking like an absolute steal. We can see a .908 save percentage with the Arturs Canucks in 21 games this season. We know he struggled quite a bit with the Canucks to start the year with Thatcher Demko out, but we are seeing him dominate going into the playoffs. A .935 save percentage, 5-1. Silovs is starting to grow into what we were expecting from him last season. Yes, taking the jump from the AHL to the NHL, being demoted to the AHL. I don't even look at this in a bad way. We know Silovs is still very young. Not a lot of NHL experience, playoff experience is something that he's been going through. But the big thing with Silovs is he is a bright future part of this team, and we're seeing how this unfolds, the development of the Abbotsford Canucks. And what is your guys' thoughts on this? Could you see Silovs coming in as a possible backup goaltender next season if the Canucks move on from Thatcher Demko? Or do you like to see him with the Abbotsford Canucks for maybe one more season to get his footing before he takes on a full-time NHL job? Now, this does tie straight into the second topic, where we did see Elliotte Friedman speak out on possible and legitimate candidates for the Vancouver Canucks. Expect the Canucks shortlist to be down to 3 to 4 guys this week. Marco Sturm is a legitimate candidate. He will be on the shortlist along with Manny, Malhotra. Now, we know the Canucks are actively looking for their Rick Tocchet replacement going into next season. Having the shortlist down to 3 or 4 guys is a huge step in the right direction. Having these guys listed, I would love a lot of these players. First, looking at Marco Sturm, who I did recently touch on. 4 years as an assistant coach with the LA Kings. We've seen him go down to the Ontario Reign to take over the head coaching job, losing in the qualifying round, lost in the second round, and then went 43-25 just this past season. Marco Sturm is someone that is highly regarded as a great coach. We've seen a lot of his players speak out, and I did a video on this, which you can go back and watch as well. A lot of players said how much he builds team chemistry. We see the open door policy builds a bond within the group, and everyone within the organization respects him. Not only that, he had a cup of tea with the Vancouver Canucks, only 6 games, but still a Vancouver Canuck at one point. Marco Sturm played in 938 games. He also coached during the Olympics in 2018, winning a silver medal with Germany with the men's hockey. This is a coach that has experience, and I know a lot of people are saying, hey, this is not a coach that has coached in the NHL as a head coach at the time, but every coach does start in the AHL at some point through an assistant coach, moving his way up to a head coach. We've seen a lot of guys work their way up to be dominant coaches. Barry Trotz is a name we've seen go with the Washington Capitals, moved into a GM job with Nashville, but he once started in the AHL, and Marco Sturm is a name that if the Canucks hired, I would not be upset. Now, the name that everyone's going to want to look at is Manny Malhotra, who is currently with the Canucks organization. Manny Malhotra does have a bit better of a resume when it comes to NHL experience. Manny Malhotra had 3 years with the Vancouver Canucks, 4 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs, turning down the assistant job there to go to Abbotsford to take over the head coaching role. A 44-24 record. We currently see them in the playoffs. The development of the guys have been outstanding, going on their longest win streak in franchise history with the Abbotsford Canucks. We've seen Manny Malhotra show in the NHL, in the AHL, that he can coach at this league. Now, looking at Manny Malhotra, he has helped a lot of Abbotsford players throughout this season. Guys like Arshdeep Bains, 43 points in 50 games. Atu Ratu, 40 points in 43 games. You can work your way down. Jonathan Lekkerimäki, 19 goals in 38 games. He has helped the development of a lot of players, and this is not even the full list. This is just looking at the most points throughout Abbotsford. Yes, it is his first time going as a coach, but it's someone that Jim and Patrik Allvin have worked with. We've seen him with Arturs. They know him through this. He was with the Vancouver Canucks just a few years ago, 2017-18. Wow, that's a lot longer than I expected. But having someone that has worked with Elias Pettersson, worked with some guys in the group, worked with all the prospects throughout Abbotsford, getting them to the next level. These guys that are waiting to be promoted into the NHL, this would be the smoothest transition. As I said, Elliotte Friedman is saying there's 3 to 4 guys. We're going to touch on at least one more name, which we're getting reports from. But the biggest thing with the Canucks, if you want the smoothest transition from the Abbotsford Canucks into Vancouver, Malhotra makes the most sense. Yes, you are not getting someone like Peter Laviolette, which I have said multiple times I would hate for the Canucks to go get. If you look at his resume, he's not great with the young guys. We know how good the Canucks are with their young players coming up. You need someone with a fresh start, a new look, and I think Manny might be the exact guy the Canucks want. Now, the big thing is we know Quinn Hughes has his love for Rick Tocchet. We've seen it with Adam Foote, but we also get reports from Patrick Johnson from the Providence today, where he says Brock is a guy who's going to be very interested to see who the coach is, if there's any hope here. And this is with Brock Boeser possibly returning. Now, I did a video just a few days ago speaking on how Brock Boeser and the Patrik Allvin have pretty much shown that there is some wiggle room they're going to work with. Patrik Allvin spoke in front of season ticket holders and said we're going to look at and continue to try to bring Brock back. If Brock hits free agency on July 1st, there does seem like a very high chance he's going to leave. The market's high. There's a huge demand. Teams like the Minnesota Wild, for example, are all in to bring their Minnesota native in Brock Boeser home. It feels like he's been linked there for years. But the big thing is Brock, Quinn Hughes, these guys are going to have a huge say if they were part of the organization, if they loved Manny Malhotra as an assistant. With the team growing in Abbotsford, maybe the best outcome would be go get Manny Malhotra. But Patrick Johnson also did tweet out today on Blue Sky, he posted on Blue Sky, echoing and extending on what Dolly and Durancer have put together. Sounds like the Canucks head coaching job is coming down to Adam Foote or Manny Malhotra, with Malhotra the slight favorite. Now, the big thing is, going into the latter half of this offseason, you're going to want to bring a coach in, get him in, let him help you with signing free agents, constructing this roster. There's no point to build a grit and grind lineup for a coach that wants to be fast and offensive. So the big thing with this is the Canucks are going to have to make a decision soon. Yes, we have reports coming out from Elliotte Friedman that even someone like Manny Malhotra could be the Canucks head coach, which, like I said, I think would be awesome. Adam Foote is a possibility as well. We've seen him 3 years as an assistant. He hasn't had a head coach experience since with the Cleveland Rockets in the WHL, where I've seen a lot of comments, not a fan with how he coached there. But the big thing is the players are going to have a big say in this. And do I think the players should have the full say? No. This is an organization that needs to do what's best for them. But with the players coming through, with the coach having a say in this offseason, we could see this being named. And if it extends past the Abbotsford playoffs, then we know, for example, that it's going to be Manny Malhotra. But the coaching is going to come down to a huge part of the offseason if it goes with players, with how they build this roster, with what direction they want to go in. Obviously, Allvin and Rutherford have the final say in this, but you don't want a coach to come in that wants to maybe go into a quick retool. The GM's going out and buying a bunch of players, being on the wrong foot. This is going to be a very interesting offseason. But what is your guys' thoughts on this? What is your thoughts about guys that could come come through with Manny Malhotra, who I think is the best fit for this. We still have Marco Sturm, is a guy the Canucks could go after. Adam Foote is another name. Maybe there's another name that I haven't brought up that you want to go down and leave a comment on. Maybe it's a guy like Bruce. Bring him back to Vancouver. Bruce, there it is. Leave your thoughts down below. But while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, go down and leave a comment like I said. But I've been your host, Mark Bye, and listen, this offseason's going to be hectic, but we're all here together, and go Canucks go. But take care.